Well, hello. Today, everyone, is the day that we start the shopping list. We said it was going to be our first basic application that we start, and it will be a multi-device application, and with a header and a footer. I have already got put it done the initial bit there, and all I have done otherwise is saved the application as the shopping list.dpr, so we get a shopping list exe out of this in this instance. The main form is called this a header footer template, and I guess let's start, shall we? So, the first thing I'm going to do here is I want to save the main form as something other than header footer template. So let's call it umain, unit main for me here. So that has now been changed. At this stage, I will leave the footer alone. We may put something in there, and what we will do is, so when you think about a shopping list, we need to be able to write down, let's say an item, and have that item get inserted into a list. And we will also need a, if we want to be nice, we need to have a label as well. So we need to have, let's start putting in some of these components that we have. So first of all, let's look for a label. Typically what I'll do here, I'll just I search for the component I'm looking for. I know it's a label in this instance, and then I can just drag and drop it to where I want. In the beginning or initially, I don't really care too much about the exact placement. I just want to get the controls that I'm interested in. So next one will be a T edit. And then we will also want a list box. There we go. And now we start, considering where we want our controls to go. One thing which I am quite big on is the positioning of elements. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Looks okay there. I like to have the gap between the top and the of the top and a component to the component above it, and the gap between here and the left in this instance to be the same. We may as well give this label a value, or something, so we know what we're asking for. So we will say, let's call it, in this case, could be at the moment we'll call it an item. The user will type in what they're looking for here. So okay, so where were we? We just put in a text prompt, and that basically is used such that if nothing has been entered into the field, it just becomes the default label. And I'm thinking out loud here, we may as well give the list box a heading as well, and we'll call this one here shopping list here. Whoops, that's the wrong one. That's my. That was actually the name of the component, not the value. So we'll change the value now to be shopping list there. Now we will make sure it has a similar width to the components around it. It looks like the gap there's a bit out, but for the sake of what we're doing here, we'll just leave it like that. Now we will put in look, I think right now a button will do the trick, or we could use a speed button. Let's throw in a speed button, I think. So copy that one, drop one of them there, and put it next to the item we want to add in. And here we will set the style, and let's see what we've got here. An add item button. So let's go for that one. And for the shopping list, we're going to make a copy of the radio button, and we'll put it down here for the moment. And this one, let's suppose we put an item in, but we realized that we don't really need it, so let's remove it. We want to be able to remove an item from the list there. So let's, over here, we will change the style here to be something like a, is there a delete or a minus here we can use? Clear maybe, or we could use, I wonder if there is a delete. Here we go, a delete item button. And I think it might be nice also if we had a button to clear the entire list here. So we will add one more speed button here, and this one we will, let's give it a, I wonder if there's a reset here. Okay, looking for something like a garbage bin perhaps here. That might be recycle, I'm thinking now. Here we go, trash. Okay, there we go. Let me just check how close they are to each other. They're looking okay. At the moment, we have not put any code behind these buttons, and we will do that in half a minute, I think. We now have the makings of a, visually, of a shopping cart. So, in action now, it will, let's make, it's starting to take some shape, I think, now. So one thing I also like to do here is to change the names of all of the controls which I put onto the form to be something which makes sense to me at least. So this one here, by default, you can see that the name is label 1, so we will call this here item. Label here, we'll call this here let's call this one here, we'll just call this one item for the moment. This one here can be called shopping list label, and this one here will be the shopping list itself. So we can call this one here quite easily shopping list. This one here, we will call this one here add item button. This one here will be remove item button. This one here can be clear clear list button. And I think that should be just about all when we look at the code behind us. So I've got a header, footer, header, item itself, the shopping list label. Yep, they're all good so far. So if you were to build this application, nothing much will happen, but let's see what it looks like. There is an error. What doesn't it like? Oh, I'm getting this. For some reason, I always wind up with an error called value not in range. So I'm never quite sure what it's looking for, but what this means is we're going to have to restart Delphi, but I'm going to have to make sure everything has been saved, shut it down. Anyway, let's run this again and see what happens. Program has disappeared onto my other window now, so we'll just pull it over here, and you can basically, see it's a basic shopping list visually. It doesn't do much else, and we haven't updated the title, but we can do that in a moment. So we wait for Delphi to come back to us. F12 to get back to the form, and we will call this one here. Oh, what do we call this? Let's just just to be SHOPPING. Shopping list is the application caption. Let's put some code behind the button. So to do that, all I've done is I just double click on the speed button. The other way you can do it is by going into the events, looking for the on-click event handler, and you could double click there and you get taken a bit of code. And here what we'll do is to just add the item to the shopping list itself, and items dot add, and here we are going to add the contents of the item field, item.text, and that basically is all we need to do to copy the value from here into here. And I guess if we want to be let's just make sure we don't add any duplicates in. We could just say here if dot items dot list dot, let's look for something like find, if we want, here we go, index of the item text is equal to -1, then we can add it, and then what we'll do is, so that basically means if the item's not found here, and what we can then do is to clear this field value, and so now we've got a bit of code that only makes sure we've got unique items and the item gets cleared. Let's watch this in action now. It's building now. And if we type in over here, I'll just check checking OBS to make sure everything looks okay. And we'll type in here Apple, hit the add button, and we can see it's there. The item gets cleared. Let's type in pear, hit the add button, and let's try Apple again. We'll hit that one, and it doesn't get added in, but the item still gets cleared. So far so good. We'll wait for Delphi to come back again. Okay, so now we want to put some code behind the delete button. So to do that, all we need to do, we'll just double click on this button here, and then we can just paste. I'm just going to paste the text in that I had. Caps lock was on. Shopping list, and we can delete the item that is the selected item here, and that basically is all we need to remove, that one item. So at the moment we're talking about one item selected and one item deleted. The next bit of code here, let's clear the entire list. Again, just double click on it, and here we're going to clear the entire list, and that is all we need to do there. I don't like the fact that I've got this declared as a header footer form, so I'm also going to change the name of the form as well now, and we will call this shopping list form, or we call it the main form, one of the two. There we go. Shopping list form. And I think one more, and the last thing that I want to do here is that when it comes to programming, I find that it is pointless to input data into something if you're not going to do something with that same data. So let's say for an input, you'd want to have at least some sort of output. And here what we're going to do is let's say we're going to make this at least copy to the clipboard, so I could at least send my shopping list to my wife, shall we say. So here let's look at, we'll change the style of this button here. So let's see what we've got here for something that resembles a copy type action. CEO corner button style. It's irritating when you can't find something that you knew used to be there. So what shall we do? Hang on, I've just lost it again. Now let's change that style. Okay, here we go. I think for the sake of the exercise, let's just use the bookmark button. And for this particular code here, no, let's not go. that's the one issue you'll have with when you just copy a button with an event handler behind it. It will also copy the on-click event handler. So here what we want to do is let's change this name here to copy button, and we'll then go into our event handlers here, double click on that one, and we are now going to take this code here and drop it here, and we will get rid of button 1 because it never ever existed. So now we can add, remove, we can clear the entire selection, and we've also got something behind a copy button. And now let's run this little beast and see what happens, shall we? Okay, so let's type here apple and copy and pair and that one, and now bananas, and we'll copy that one, or add that one in, I should say. Now let's just do a copy action, so they've all been copied to the clipboard. And in theory, if I now do let's just create, hang on, I'm just being interrupted here. Actually no, they can wait. What I might do, I'll just go down to the bottom here and we'll just paste it, and you can see the items which I've put into the shopping list. So just bear with me please. So right here we have the makings of a very simple program. Yes, it doesn't do much in regard to, let's say we don't save it anywhere yet, so the items will get lost between each session. I may want to have the list ordered alphabetically, but we can cover that in the next exercise. You can see here that there is not much code actually needed to start to create an application, and in actual fact the only code that we needed to add was what you see on the screen here. Maybe, you could argue we should have some sort of, warning message perhaps at the items in the list. I don't know. So this is where we're starting from, and in the next video we will look at adding functionality to this program. We will maybe allow you to have the shopping list alphabetically. We may do something with the I'm just now looking at it with the case of the text being added in, like, it's all in lowercase now, so there's plenty of scope for improvement, but this is where we're starting and we will go from there. Until next time, I'll see you later, and happy programming.